Hey guys, infamous bathroom scene. I'm always in this bathroom. This is my rendition of the tikari, if I'm saying that correctly, from Bach's novel Valhalla. I haven't started reading it yet because I'm terrible, but I will. It's probably today or tomorrow. I have to work tomorrow, but in a quiet time during my break I can read. Anyway, this piece is something that since I first saw it, I just had to do. And I decided to make a tutorial for it because I thought, who isn't going to want one of these? You know, just hang it up on your wall. It's just such an interesting piece, you know? But, hey, there's me in my Dalek shirt, and I haven't brushed my hair today. Anyway, first of all, I just compiled all the videos for the tutorial, and I want to apologize for constantly clearing my throat. I was sick. I still am a little sick, but hey, that's pretty much it. Sculpey, a little hot glue. Let's try to get in a little bit closer so you can see the antennas. I haven't glued this piece down to this piece yet, but I'll get to it. And I just used silver spray paint. I wanted to make it look more three-dimensional, but with the silver spray paint, it kind of does it on its own. The way it catches the light and everything, I didn't need to go in and do black shadowing. It worked out fine. There are things that I would definitely do different if I were to mass produce this, but this is just for me. I'm gonna name him Carlton. Okay, so as you can see, over here I've got my picture to work from, and here I've got my baking sheet and my knife, and here in my hand, wanana, I have Sculpey. I need to stop saying wanana, I'm getting annoying. Let me zoom in a little bit. That's probably plenty there. Really hate this camera. I know I complain about this every time I make a video. I really hate this camera. Okay. So, I find old coffee mugs are awesome for rolling clay. Rolling Sculpey. It's polymer clay. So, I'm not going to roll it too thin, but I'm going to say maybe a little less than 1/4 of an inch. And if you want, you can put down parchment paper. I don't. I actually hate working with stuff like that because I find underneath it gets all crinkly and annoying, and it just really gets on my nerves. And my shadow is getting on my nerves too because it's in the way. But I didn't roll it too thin. I just gave myself a little wiggle room. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to eyeball it. You can take a pencil and kind of carefully trace it on there. It's just a matter of preference. But I'm just going to eyeball it. I've been doing this a while. And I'm not going to make this massive. I'm not going to make it big enough to actually be put in your collarbone. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Like I usually do. And you should too. I should have turned on some music or something. This is going to be a very creepy, quiet little video. So, okay, there's one wing, and I'll probably roll it a little bit thinner. By probably, I mean definitely. And don't be afraid to do that. There are very few things in this world that cannot be fixed. I can name a few pretty terrible things that can't be fixed. This is fortunately not one of them. So I'm just going to do it again. Basically the exact same thing that I just did. And I think I screwed it up. But like I said, few things that can't be fixed. Just basically, once again... Oh, I shouldn't even be doing this with my wedding band on. It's going to get funky. If you have jewelry, I would highly recommend taking it off while you work with Sculpey. Or any clay for that matter, but Sculpey especially is just a nightmare to get out jewelry. So is hair. I've got hair in my Sculpey. I'm not that worried about it though. Okay. So once again, that is the official prop maker's song when working with Sculpey. Okay, and like I said, it doesn't really need to be perfect. Wah. One thing I really like about these little paring knives is that they, you can get a pack of 4 of these for like 97 cents. I broke one earlier. The blade just popped out of it and part of this plastic broke off. I just fixed it with some Bondo, you know, as you do. Alright, let's see. So I'm going to start smashing it down because the way the blade is, it's not perfectly flat. It's basically a lot like this. It's just, you know, it's a blade. I don't know how better to explain that. My cats are being really irritating and running around like psychos. Job, lay down and go to sleep. Sheesh. Okay. So just as you're smashing, just smooth it out. You know, I personally find fingerprints in projects disgusting. I've had some people email me and say they've actually ordered from me because that's something that just truly... Ugh. Plus, I saw an episode of CSI once where a prop maker had a fingerprint in something and a serial killer used it, and that kind of freaks me out too. Don't use my fingerprints if you're going to kill somebody. That's just rude. Also, don't kill anybody because that's rude too. Okay. I probably shouldn't talk as much as I do, but it's really quiet. Alright. I think I'm just going to take off a little bit. I think I might have made it just a teensy bit too big. Make sure that this is actually in the frame. Yay! Okay, I hate this camera. Have I mentioned that? So I'm going to go around the edge again. Get it as nice and close as I can without being icky. Also, another thing, you will notice I never have long nails. It is pretty much impossible to do art with long nails. I envy women who, well, and men, I guess, who can have nice, long, pretty painted nails, but acrylic paint ruins nail polish. So I pretty much never, that would probably be my husband texting me. I told him dinner was gross. I made dinner earlier and it was gross. So I texted him and said, sorry, dinner was kind of gross, or it is gross. He'll be home in about an hour. And okay. So what I'm going to do next is, in the picture, there are little holes here. Actually, yes, there are little holes here. But first, there's kind of like a peak. So what I'm going to do is take the clay and roll it out like a worm. You know, like you do when you're little. And Brendan, shut up! Anyway, I forgot my train of thought. He's complaining about work. Roll it out like a worm and get it looking like that. What I like to do for stuff that has a peak, which I know this because another project I have going is something I call knee spikes. I'm sure they have a more specific name, but that's just what I call them. I keep looking at the camera to talk to it. I know the lens is even pointed at me. Anyway, just from the top, push down and out. And yeah, you'll have to go around the edge again, but it's really not so bad, is it? It's not. And I probably should have rolled it thicker, but this is how we're doing it. And really, it's not that hard to just take another skinny little piece and put it up to the side. I might go this way with it. if you're really worried about how maybe you didn't get it thick enough. Not a big deal. Oh yeah, I was ranting about fingerprints. Just be sure to smooth them out, because this is a nice smooth piece. So, you know, there are some pieces that aren't smooth. Like, there was a couple swords from League of Legends I did. Oh gosh, I guess it was in November or so. I don't remember. But, they had a roughness to them. They were really pretty awesome. I didn't have to obsess about smoothness. Like, a lot of the props I do take a smoothness. Ooh. This thing better still be recording. I'll freak out. Oops. A little too heavy fingered there. Okay, so that's nice and smooth. And don't worry about, you know, if your edges start to look funky. I mean, look at how mine look. I'm squishing it so much. That's what this is for. Just go back over it. Not a big deal. I'm trying to keep this flat though, since it is supposed to be sharp like a blade. Now, the trickier part is going to be the hole, the two holes. There's a big hole like right about here, and then a small hole. And this is going to be very interesting because I'm going to try to do it with this knife. Actually, I've probably got, oh look, a paintbrush. How convenient. So let's see, right about here. Bloop. I might be able to fit the blade in there and kind of, yeah. It's not perfect, but hey, it's a start. You can just go back in after, I don't want the edges to look yucky inside either. I want them to be smooth. There we go. You can just smooth it out by wiggling it around in there. And then I'm gonna kind of push it down, smooth it out here. Yay! Okay, the bigger one might be just a touch trickier. Wish I had a bigger, oh, a marker. How convenient. Right about here. That may not be big enough, so I'm just giving it a few twists. You know, just improvise with whatever you've got lying around to make holes. You can do it. Oh, it's like trying to get the last bit of peanut butter out of the jar. Get out. Please get out. There we go. Close enough. Oh, my cats. They're all licking themselves at the same time. Guys, please. It's the most horrible noise. Kind of smooth it out. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Guys, please stop with the constant licking yourselves. It's gross. You're clean now, I swear. Okay. One thing that I'm having a problem with is the bigger hole. This point is actually more straight up the center. So just move it over a bit. And knife. Don't cut yourself. I'm always cutting and burning myself. Okay. So one thing I'm noticing about this piece is that this side and this side, they're nice and flat, but where this, I'm going to call it a peninsula, comes down, it doesn't look like it's going to be flat to the base here. It looks like it's got kind of a corner, if you will. Get the extra clay out and try to keep that smooth while also keeping that piece cornery. And that out of there. Whoops. But then this side is flat against. Trying not to have my hands in the way too much so you can actually see what I'm doing. It's tricky. There we go. Alright, and then just clean up your edge with your knife, your trusty handy dandy 97 cents for 4 paring knife. I'm gonna cut this one more time. There we are. And there's also like a little design in there as well. I think this might have a bit of a harder edge on it too. Here we go. Lovely. So this is part of the wing, obviously. It connects to a bug here. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bake this and then basically trace it to do my other wing, so that way I have pretty much the same thing, and then I'll work on the bug. But there is a design that, let's see, I'm gonna cut it about here, kind of flatten it out so that the bug has something to lay on. There's a design right here. We're just gonna etch it in. I don't know how well you can see it. And I probably need something smaller. Why did I clean everything out? I'm going to use a brooch clip. You know, you do what you gotta do. And I'm going to just clean out some of this, this clay. I'm going to lift out a chunk. We're going to need a knife. Whoops. I can't get in there just right. I'm basically going to use the tip of this pointy, needly brooch clip, put it back in there, and then it looks like it's got a few lines that curve, or not curve, but point outwards in a way. It looks like 4. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm going to throw this in the oven per the Sculpey package directions, and then use it to form the other side. Alright, there we go. Seems like once you get one bit of it up, it's not quite so bad. Okay. So it's still got a little malleability to it. Probably couldn't hurt to bake it a little longer. I sped through it. Not that big of a deal. Alright, so more clay. And pretty much just a repeat of what I was doing earlier. Roll it out. This time, I'm not gonna smash this down because I am going to flip it. So this side's kind of grainy and gross looking because it's been on here. So I'm gonna put this flat surface down. Probably not the best place, right back on there, but yeah, there we go. Let me make sure that's still in frame. Yay! Okay, and just Hopefully my hand isn't in the way too much. I apologize if my hands are just in the way this whole time. I guess I can check before I post it. But there we go. Just pop that off of there. And I think I'll go ahead and put it back on and make sure it's pretty close. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and make little notches where the holes should be, so that way I know where to poke, which probably isn't really going to be all that helpful. But then just flip it over. Oh, not quite. And yeah, so then basically just do everything you did on this side. And I won't go over that again because you already know what it's going to look like. Oh no, I touched it. I hate this camera. Okay. I hate this tripod too. It weighs like a pound, so it blows too easily in the wind. On the picture, you can see the hind wing here through the hole. So I'm going to line it up. And I'm basically going to just use that hind wing there to, maybe I'm not, you know what, I'm just going to cut it. I'm doing a terrible job. Yay! There you go. I'm just going to wing it. Been around my husband too long. Everything is a pun. Ugh. Okay. That's not quite right. It's a little closer to what it needs to be. And then, you know, just the smoothing it out part. And down here it's a bit serrated, but I'm really more concerned about this part here for now. Actually, I nailed it. So that's what it needs to look like there. Love these knives. They are wonderful. They're so cheap and they're so useful. Okay. Actually, yay! Everybody's licking themselves so loud. It's drowning out my music. Cat. Mintigay, please stop. I will give you money if you'll stop licking yourself. I don't know what a cat would do with money, but I don't know. Okay. So far, it's a little wonky. There's my dog. Hi, dog. Can you make them stop licking themselves, please? This part's tricky. I think maybe I'm making it harder than it needs to be. That sounds precisely like something I would do. I'm just going to bring this in a bit more. And this part here, it's real thin. So I'm trying to get it to match up just right. Oh, here we go. Okay. That'll work. Yes? No? Maybe? I think that'll work. So, alright. Smoothing it out again. And this part kind of curves in a bit more. Of course, if you are following this as a tutorial, which I am going to set it up as a tutorial, don't cut yourself. Just use extreme caution. I keep getting little hard bits on there. There we go. Use extreme caution because these knives, cheap as they may be, they are sharp. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna kind of flatten the bottom down because I'm gonna serrate it. I don't know if you can hear my music, but we had some old school Ayumi Hamasaki going. And now we've got, well, I shouldn't say old school because it's just from like 2010, but 2NE1 song Ugly. I love 2NE1. Love them. Okay. So there we go there. But again, I'll just mess with that later. We're going to take some more clay and we're going to do the worm thing again. And I'm sure that there are other ways to do this. This is just how I choose to do it. You know, if you know of another way to do something, do it your way. You know, this is just the way I do mine. And I actually think that is too big. Feels like it's got something in it. Ooh, it does. Like a bead. This is just some dry. Okay. So about halfway down is where it will do its thing. I'm just thinning it out because this is a much thinner part down here. And I think that will work. Okay. I'm actually going to stand up to do this. I think it'd be easier to see it. Basically just same thing as we did before. Smooth it out and let it blend in there. Don't push down too hard, just be gentle and patient. Patient is probably the most important thing to do whenever you're doing any kind of artwork. Ooh, now we've got Utada Hikaru English. My husband the first time he heard this song, Dirty Desire, he thought she was saying Dirty Messiah. I laughed. I can't remember what album this is off of. It's not Exodus. This is the one. That's the one it's off of. There we go. I know I've said it a few times, but if you mess something up, don't worry about it. Like I said, there are few things in this world that cannot be repaired. Now, I can name some ones that can't be, but there are things that are a pretty simple fix. And working with polymer clay, definitely something that you can fix. Okay. And smooth this out down here, because remember, it is a blade of death. Actually, I don't know what it's a blade of. I haven't read it yet because I'm a terrible person. I will read it starting tonight though, because this will probably take me another couple of hours. What else am I reading right now? I'm actually working on something. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. Well, you know what? I'm not going to mention it now either. I will mention it on a whole separate video, because right now, you know, I'm busy. So, I will start reading this book this evening. Okay, so now we're going to do the serrated part. That's going to be pretty easy. Just, you know what? I'm going to use a pencil. Just poke and drag. Poke and drag. And then just clean it up. Oh, that one got, there we go. There we go. Alright, and of course, we've got a hole that it's going to be the same size as one of the bigger ones. So I'm going to use my handy dandy tulip fabric marker and just bloop. Make sure I get it in the right place before I bloop. There we go. Alright, and then have a look, survey all that I have done. Shake this off a bit more. I think I probably could have done a much better job on the serrated edge, to be honest. And it looks like there's a little part here. Bloop. That's probably... Here we go. I don't really know how to explain this, but it's like there's another facet to it. And I just basically used another piece of Sculpey, flattened it out, and laid it on. I'm not going to smooth it out too hard because I don't want it to become a piece of this. I apologize if I make absolutely no sense. I have a habit of not making any sense. I'm going to make these serrated pieces a little bit bigger. Here we are. Okay. So this is what it's basically going to look like. I probably made this piece too long, but I actually quite like the way it looks. Let me stand up. Yeah, I actually do quite like the way that looks. So, cut out some of the extra Sculpey. And as much as I do like this song, I really don't feel like being painfully depressed. We're going to listen to some old school Boa. You can't get depressed while listening to Boa. Okay. So at this point, I'm just going to clean up everything else, and I'm going to leave a little extra to glue the top part on. I'm probably going to use some kind of fiberglass resin to glue it together to make sure that it stays together. And basically the same thing I did before. I'm going to bake this piece, flip it, and use it to trace my other wing. And then once that's done, we can make the bug. So what I'm going to do is take my clay, wherever that's gone, and try to get an idea of how big the body should be. And when you're doing yours, if you do one, just keep in mind, see, the way I'm going to do it, I don't know how best to word this. Actually, that looks perfect. What I plan to do is make the body part first and then lay over the, we'll say armor. The exoskeleton. Yeah, that's... Alright, I'm going to take a little bit more off of there because since I'm going to lay that over, that's going to puff it up anyway. So, okay, that looks about right. And then make its upper part. And I'm just going to put them together by smoothing it on. But at the top, kind of make it still look separate. And you can just do it however you want. This is just my method. My music is so quiet now that I can't hear it. I don't even know what I'm listening to. Oh, I'm listening to the Backstreet Boys. Well, that's probably why. I don't know how that got on there, you guys. I graduated in 2001. We'll just put it that way. Okay. Actually, I think it could probably stand to be... Actually, I think that's okay. And then he's going to need a little tiny head. And then he does have antennas. Or antenna. But instead of doing that, instead of making those out of clay, I'm just going to use a couple small metal rods, metal wire. And the same thing, just attaching it like this. And he needs eyes. Big old ugly bug eyes, which are actually not ugly, they're super cute. I think bugs are really cute, and I'm glad I have a lady I work with too. Because, you know, a lot of people are like, ew, bugs! And they kill them, and that depresses me. I love bugs. They're so cute. And the other day, there was a bug in the office, and we both saw it, and we're like, oh, it was cute. It was a little tiny bug. Ugh, I'm crazy. But you all have seen my videos where there are huge spiders, and I've named them. Spiders are cute, too. But little insects are also really cute. Okay. There, now he has eyeballs. He's very cute. I mean, as cute as, like, you know, a scary blade monster can be. But, yeah, he'll just go on there. So precious. Okay. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to attach the legs. And ideally what I'd like to do is use some kind of wire for the legs. But I have no idea where any of my wire has gone. So, oh, here's some. It's just these little pins. I don't even know if you can see them. These little pins that you get at Walmart in the craft department. I'm sure I have tons of this stuff somewhere. I'm so aggravated. Whatever. I'm just going to use clay. Okay, so he has 6 legs, as insects typically do. Just gonna roll out them legs. I'm not gonna bake that directly on there. What I'm gonna do is attach them, because there's gonna be another piece that's gonna go on top of here. So I'm gonna take the legs. Yeah, I think that's the appropriate length. And like I said, he's got 6. And you don't have to roll these out like individually one at a time. You can just roll out a really long one and then just cut the sections, which is actually probably what I'm going to go ahead and do. That's a typical move of mine. Okay, let's see here. Move that leg over there. Kind of give this one a point. Whee! There we go. Actually, I probably could stand to be just a bit longer. Yes, that needs to be longer. If you just pull real gently, it's pretty easy to elongate your Sculpey worms. Just don't go hog wild, because you might end up ripping it, which is not a big deal. Just roll out another piece, but if you're anything like me, you just want to get it right the first time so you can move on to the next part. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to make this piece a little longer. And smash that down so it bakes in good and sturdy. I hear one of my mini kitties meowing, and I don't know where it's coming from. I guess downstairs. Alright. And 2 more legs at the top, because insects have 6 legs. That is what keeps them from being arachnids. I'm sure, among other things, but whatever. I don't even know if the camera can hear me. I'm just talking. Okay. So 2 more legs. The front legs seem to be a bit thinner and not quite as long. So, whee! Oh my gosh, I can hear Lily screaming her head off down there. I have a cat named Lily, and she's super cute, but she's also super annoying. Alright, I'm actually going to put, I should have started with these. I'm going to put these ones down below. So just, you know, squish them in, and you can do whatever you want, like whichever method works best for you. Hind legs or front legs first. Okay. Actually, I think I will, excuse me, wings. There we go. Ugh. Can't get this one to stick. There we go. There, I'm trying to position them just right so that I know where to cut. There we go. Fabulous. Okay. And at this point, what I am going to do is make the armor for the legs, which I should make sure this stupid camera is still recording. Let's see, it seems so dark in here. I hate this room. I hate everything. Anyway, I'm gonna overlay his legs, or her, you know, whatever, but do the armor thing. And I'm going to start from bottom to top, because the way it is in the picture, the top overlays the bottom. So obviously that's going to be easier. I don't think that's a big enough piece. So basically I'm just going to do another worm, another Sculpey worm, and kind of pat it down. Not super thin, make it easy to pull back up. Do a little on both sides. Alright. Stop moving. Okay. I'm just gonna do like a, you know, it would be a lot easier metal. A lot easier to cut this with metal. So, you just use whatever's easier for you. I had the weirdest dream last night. I had a dream that I went down some road and a whole bunch of people had like really ugly couches and chairs out. And it was like, free, take them. It was like, they're pretty ugly, who would want them? But for some reason I wanted one. And I went to this guy's house. I was like, can I take the chair that's out in your front yard? And he's like, oh sure, just give me a little while and I'll help you load it. And the whole time in the dream I was like, oh, I hope that he doesn't come out to help me load it, because then I can say, you know, it was just because he took so. I don't know why. This was just a stupid dream. I don't know why I felt compelled to tell anyone about it, but there you go. I think that pinching a little on the top might help too. In hindsight, I probably could have done that. I probably could have put this on before I attached the legs. You live, you learn. Alright, I got the legs done. So now what I'm going to do is the over armor. I'm going to kind of move his legs a little bit. And what I'm going to do for the armor, basically the same thing that I did for the overlay armor for the legs. I'm just going to roll a piece out, not too thin because I don't want it to stick too, actually pretty thin, but it helps when it sticks to the cup because it's easier to pull off of the pan. So yeah, I guess it's pretty darn thin. We'll just put it that way. Basically cut it into a square. Let's see, just take this loose piece and kind of figure out how big I need it. That actually works pretty well. I think that'll do. And let's see. So I'm just gonna make these little, you know, stripes. That one's trying to get free. And in the middle, it's got a notch. It looks like down towards the bottom, the notches are more triangular. So I'm just going to take a pencil and poke it out. Actually, I want my knife. I don't know where it went. It's kind of horrible that my knife is missing. I guess I'll just have to use this. But I do want my knife. Just kind of get that out. And put it on. Yep, it's too big around the edges, but if I had my knife, I could cut it off. Just kind of, with one finger, hold it steady and cut if yours is too long. If not, that's pretty awesome. You're awesome. Just kind of hold it in place and cut. And then anything that kind of comes up that's real thin, you can just squish back up in there. And it looks like a couple more of them are just that plain notch. Ooh, I don't know what my family is downstairs watching, but it's loud. Let's see. Oh my goodness, it's loud. So then you basically, with your second one, just kind of overlay it a little bit so that it gives that, you know, armory look. I'm good at words. I write books. Okay. Still want my blade. Same thing. Just lather, rinse, and repeat at this point. Alright. That piece I might have made just a little too skinny. This piece is going to be trickier because I actually think I need to make bigger pieces for the top part. Right now, I guess I could go to my mom's studio. It's pretty cold there too. Here we are. Ooh, babby. Legs are in the way a little bit. And you know, if you want to do this before you put on the legs, it's just personal preference. You know, I just wanted to do it this way. I don't think I would do it differently if I were to do it again. And now we just need one more. La la la. I didn't mean to really fly through it the way I did. Apparently I didn't get any video of myself making this thing. I don't know if my camera died or what. But basically, you know, I baked the bug and I spray painted him silver. I spray painted the wings silver as well. And I've already attached the wings, so they are glued together. So now it's just going to be bug placement, which is going to be simple enough. I said I was going to use fiberglass resin, and if I was making this for somebody else or planning on mass producing or something, I would use fiberglass resin to make sure that, you know, it was like hardcore sturdy. This is basically just for my use. I'm gonna hang this up probably over my bed, you know, that's where things like this go. No, I'll hang this up somewhere. Gonna need more glue, but there he is, or she, you know, whatever you make. And the reason that I made this tutorial was basically I wanted to show myself making something. I realized it's been a really long time since I've done that, and I know tutorials have been requested in the past, but I just never did them. I never really had a good camera for it. I still don't. I did find a really good camera for a deal, and I'm going to save up a little bit of money and hopefully get it for my birthday, which is March 13th. But I know there's been some drama in the art community recently, those of us who do make YouTube videos and sell our stuff. Some people don't make videos, and then it's questioned whether or not they actually made it. So you saw me make it. And I just realized that I have no idea where my wedding ring is. It'll turn up.